Ripple says it's actively hunting for acquisitions as XRP price soars. Ripple is actively seeking companies to purchase. We have been active in the mergers and acquisition space and expect to be more active moving forward. They're even getting calls from smaller startups. It is going to be a very big 2025.
The U.S. to take extraordinary steps to avert a default, this according to now former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, as she dropped a massive bombshell in the incoming administration, forcing them to stop all other plans and deal with the debt ceiling on day one. The letter marks the second notification in the latest tussle over the debt limit, which kicked back as of January 2nd, and likely the last for Yellen before the Trump administration takes office on January 20th. Congress has suspended the debt ceiling in 2023 after a close-fought battle by lawmakers to avert a default on federal obligations. The limit is currently set to about $36 trillion.
So my expectations personally are to see something like around $8 here over the next 12 months. And I think that that's very possible, especially if some of these things develop. But who knows how some of this stuff develops. It's all going to come down to the adoption on some things. One detail I think that's important to understand is that as the world's changing right now and things are becoming more adopted, I don't think most people understand that Ripple is not just, trying to do money transaction. They're trying to do the transaction of like everything. They have a fantastic platform that might even be positioning them right now in a competitive way. Let me just mention it. So the IRS a little bit earlier here, last month, had shared that, they have some understanding about how they're going to require DeFi brokers to report gross proceeds from digital asset transactions starting in 2027. This is going to require those decentralized platforms to issue Form 1099s, aligning their tax reporting with traditional financial institutions. And so that's a normal thing in the brokerage world. And, by the way, crypto has needed regulatory guidance. Thankfully, there's been organizations out there like Coinbase that's been kind of leading this conversation, trying to develop standards to the Howey test and various things that we understand here in the securities world. We're finally, I think, getting an opportunity to see some of those changes, which is ultimately better, I think, for the average person, where taxes are involved and IRS agreement. I wanted to just note this, though, because one of the things to understand is that XRP is how things will transact, but the XRPL DEX is an interesting one because, see, this decentralized exchange, DEX, operates natively on its ledger without the need to front-end service providers or third-party interfaces. What am I basically saying? This could potentially exempt the XRPL's DEX from the broker classification, which is now putting significant pressure on other DeFi competitors. These are the things that we want to watch right now as we see the new iteration of AI, of blockchain, of these different protocols coming together and then now joining our day-to-day life. Like, how will they ultimately be taxed? How will they ultimately be held, etc.? So anyway, XRP's got an exciting future. We got a new SEC chairman that's going to be coming in. President Trump has already met with the CEO of Ripple, and you got to figure that there's some pretty exciting conversations that are happening behind the scenes, especially as we're talking about maybe some better tax treatment for U.S.-based coins. And of course, I think that's ultimately President Trump saying, hey, why don't you guys come on back here to the United States and let's do this together collaboratively, and let's see what price discovery ultimately ends up becoming. And the Bitcoin reserve, or these strategic reserves of assets, I think are very important.
This is the report from Rowan Exchange. It reads, full document recommendation to pay off the US debt by implementing XRP. Here's a full spread for those who didn't read it. I wrote this with the intent to print it out and mail it to the President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. But after the original post quickly went viral, it did yesterday. That's why we're doing the video on it today, because the concepts within it are interesting and not that far-fetched. There are certain things that are far-fetched, but as a whole, the idea of buying an asset like XRP, we know that the US is going to become very heavily entwined with crypto and promote it for their global leadership. It's not that far out of the realms of possibilities. He put, I figured it was seen by the right people and thus no need to mail it. But since it's circulating, I think it makes sense to post all the papers, see thread for clarification. Please note, at the time of writing, January the 5th, XRP price was $2.40. So this is the official strategic proposal by Rowan Exchange for paying off the US national debt through XRP.